Fani Willis gets a nasty letter sent to the FBI and to Merrick Garland with the Department of Justice saying that she has failed to investigate Georgia election crimes. We know this all happened back during 2020. We were sitting here on election night watching the results come in. We went to bed, woke up the next morning, we learned there was a water break, a water leak in Fulton County. And as soon as they fixed the water, all of a sudden Joe Biden had some more votes. Where'd that come from? No one really knows. But nobody did anything to investigate any of this. They told us it was all safe and secure. They threw Brad Raffensperger out all over the place. Turns out there are serious catastrophic problems throughout Georgia. We already talked about this in the Amy Totenberg trial. She said that even after Dominion came in, updated a bunch of stuff, there were still problems. And so now Georgia is responding and they're saying, look, we need some help. And this is nerve-wracking because this is an important state in the next election. And if Fani is indicting her special counsel and they're lying to all of us about that, covering it up, trying to fight everybody, even trying to tamper with witnesses, having their people call Ashley Merchant's witnesses and try to dissuade them, what are they going to do in 2024? And the senators at the state level in Georgia are so freaked out that they're actually asking for help from the FBI, which is like, oh, great. What's the FBI going to do? Just come in and cancel the election and just give it over to Biden? So here's the story. This one comes out to Merrick Garland and Jack Smith. It goes to Christopher Wray at the FBI. It goes to the Honorable U.S. Attorney out of Georgia. It goes to another judge out of the Southern District of Georgia, right? An assistant U.S. attorney, not the judge. They say, look, okay, we need some help. Dear Attorney General Garland, dear Special Counsel Smith, dear FBI Director Wray, and everybody. In January of 2021, nearly 3 years ago, operatives working on behalf of the Trump campaign entered the election offices of Coffee County to unlawfully copy the voting systems, right? They're kind of, this is a Trump claim, to perform tests on the voting system. Now, these activities were caught in detail, and records show that copies of the voting system were uploaded to a share file site, and Trump allies and activists got a hold of this, right? And this is the Trump portion. Now, they're being prosecuted for this. Now, nearly 3 years later, no charges, okay, I guess they're not being prosecuted, have been filed in Coffee County. Weird. Now, the only law enforcement agency in Georgia who has sought to hold those accountable is Fulton County. Now, again, that's nearly 300 miles away from Coffee. So in Coffee, they're saying there was illegal access, but nobody's doing it in Coffee. The only people that are holding accountable are Fani, essentially. An investigation by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation that was released to the public, which we talked about, reveals a profound failure of Georgia state law to inadequately investigate the software breaches. So this is wild. So they're actually blaming like the Trumpers on this, saying that Trump people, went in and accessed some stuff, which is strange. Does that mean that no one else accessed it? It was only Trumpers? We are writing to urge you, the DOJ, this makes a lot more sense now, why they want the DOJ to come in here, and the FBI to immediately initiate an investigation. Please take over our elections. This makes all this more sense now. Now, these alleged criminal acts were uncovered not by the Georgia Secretary of State or the State Election Board or by Georgia Bureau of Investigation or local law enforcement, but by plaintiffs in civil litigation, right? In Curling versus Raffensperger. So in other words, the point is there is no oversight or control over their elections, right? They're saying our example is that Trump people went in and got records. Trump's people are saying you guys went in and rigged the election. They say hiding in plain sight, they found overwhelming evidence of crimes, including surveillance camera footage that illustrated in sharp detail the multiple security breaches. Now, the evidence uncovered by the Curling plaintiffs, and we've read through this one before, it's not just the Trumpers, okay? These problems, by the way, were going back to 2018. So these senators are just, trying to smear the Trumpers. And of course, these are all probably Democrats. I don't know, but they probably are Democrats, right? This is why they're blaming the Trumpers on this. That's why they want the FBI to come in and secure their election. But Amy Totenberg, in a prior video, we read through her opinion, she said these problems were monstrous going all the way back to 2018. So this Trump stuff, it's a red herring. Now, the evidence uncovered by the Curling plaintiffs did form a factual basis for criminal charges, computer fraud, identity theft, and other things. It also spurred heaps of national media coverage, which compelled the Secretary of State to actually open an investigation. But recently, the Georgia Bureau's investigative summary has been made public, revealing that the state investigators did little original investigating. They relied heavily on evidence already developed by the Curling plaintiffs. Why doesn't anybody want to investigate that crime, so-called? Well, maybe because it's going to expose serious problems throughout the entire system. Lawfare reviewed the summary, said the investigation was badly inadequate, noting that Georgia failed to answer or even contemplate key questions. They missed important connections. They omitted significant communications. They failed to interview individuals central to the crimes. The analysis exposes an embarrassingly inferior investigation, concluding with a note to Georgia attorney that he's been ill-served by by Georgia. It says, as representatives of Georgia, we've all been ill-served by Georgia's woefully insufficient investigation. Now, these crimes alleged in Coffee County by Willis are serious and have significant implications for elections. And so, on behalf of the citizens in Georgia and in absence of a competent state investigation, we ask that the DOJ and the FBI launch a vigorous investigation into the voting system software breaches that occurred in Coffee County in Georgia in January 2021. And they're not going to want to do that because these go way back beyond January 2021. Okay, there were breaches and problems that go all the way back to 2018. So why would they want to look into this? They exploited it. That's how they won the state of Georgia. We saw the votes go up overnight. So they say, thank you for your time and attention to this matter. And I think that's exactly what they would want. Bring in the FBI, bring in the DOJ, let them run the elections. But my point in sharing this is that the whole thing is bad, right? It's all bad. The Democrat appointed judge, Amy Totenberg, said that the old system was bad. The new remedial system was bad. They have apparently done an investigation. They can't even investigate anything. So if they say to us, we did an investigation, okay, these same lefty Dems are going to say, well, we did an investigation in 2020. The election was fair. In fact, it was the most secure election in American history. You go, what? You're saying those same people who were in charge just produced this piece of excrement and delivered it to you, and now you're begging the DOJ to come in and help you? I thought you said that it was the most safe and secure election of all time. Now you're telling us that it's actually a disaster. Please help us, federal government. So it's weird how they can't even recognize that fact. It's like these same people would come out and say 2020 was perfectly above board and legitimate, but then come out and drop the ball here and admit that everything is a problem. So of course, we know this is about coordinating power and creating infrastructure that ensures your victory, because that's what they're doing now. AOC says, if we let Trump win, all of our elections are going to be rigged because he's going to return them back to the norm, and we don't control those anymore.
We need to understand what we are staring down in this country. If Donald Trump is elected president of the United States, we do not know if there will be a verifiable next election that has integrity. He already tried. We saw on January 6th, he tried to overturn the results of a presidential election by force, by inciting a riot. And
she called it a riot by inciting a riot.
I think we need to be very, very realistic about the grave impacts of a Donald Trump election. It is not a joke. It is not a game. We need to protect our democracy, and ideally it's going to be on progressive values.
Yeah, and so they'll do whatever it takes to stop him, and they are doing that right now. In fact, they're indicting him multiple times to see if that works, but it's not. And even Georgia is admitting that this is problematic, that their investigations aren't working well. So if they can't investigate even the Trumpers, are they investigating the people that are on their team? Are they doing a good job investigating the people that pushed them across the finish line in 2020? My guess, not. They told us they did. They told us it was safe and secure, the most fair election of all time. But now even the Democrats are begging the DOJ to come help them fix their broken state. We're going to be here continuing to cover more of this saga. 2024 and the election litigation and what the DOJ does, what the FBI does, is going to become more and more important as the days go by. And we're going to be here continuing to cover it, my friends. So thanks for subscribing. Thanks for checking out some of the links down in the description below. And we'll look forward to seeing you back here on the next one.